Because I think I went to New Guinea for the first time in '61, and we were engaged in all kinds of mock and not so mock belligerence with such enemies as Russia and so forth. And I thought, oh, well, maybe I can shed some light on what man's lust for for violence really comes to. This was totally like landing on the moon in its utter novelty. I looked out across this place and I saw these villages and I said, my God, if that's where we're going, let's get going. We're met by a huge crowd of Dani, who had obviously been aware of our presence for a very long time and wondered what we were doing. Were we coming to punish them? Were we coming to be nice to them or anything else? My journals of the time indicate a good deal of concern over whether we were going to be eaten ourselves. But it was a story of their lives. It was an exciting story. It really, really was. And it was nothing that I much made up. It was pretty much what I was observing at the time.
But you created this sort of narrative.
I took a character and fictively went about telling a story. Yeah, I mean, it's very fictive, that film, in that sense of being shaped.
You're sort of inventing a form in some ways that was put into question. I mean, you were,
yeah.
How do you look back on that?
I look back and thank God that I had the courage to dismiss these criticisms to a large extent of not being more literal or something, being subjective, you know, in the way I approached it, having my own feelings involved in the editing of it.
Heat from the bright sun increases Pua's customary lack of watchfulness. He cares about his pigs, but his young mind wanders just the same.
This little kid slept under my bed at night, and I got to know him pretty well, and I think I knew him well enough to hazard a guess at what his thinking was, what his feelings were. I really didn't want either art or science to overwhelm the other.
Wayak relaxes, waiting for his comrades and the enemy to signal their readiness by drawing close enough to fire.
I mean, I felt as though I had gotten to some kind of a promised land. And as I looked around me, I certainly can remember feeling how alien these people seemed without being alien, at least without my thinking they were alien, because they were naked and I was not naked. They wore this incredible gourd, you know, sometimes short, sometimes long, on their penis. And I didn't wear one of those things. I never tried to become them. But I remember thinking that if I can allow people to regard these people who are so seemingly alien, then I will have shown somehow the unity of mankind. I mean, that's good. You can get beyond all these stumbling blocks, you know, then you're right into the heart of the matter.
Each life that's taken is celebrated by both sides. The ones that lose a life prepare a chair, the only furniture they know, to lift the corpse for ghosts to see while they cry and have their funeral.
Norman Mailer once said the most terrible thing that anyone can do is to kill another man. That's the ultimate inhumanity, if you will. I concluded that there was some need for an expression of violence in men, you know, in these men and probably other men. It's horrible, but I think it may be true.
Though in a weird way, you're saying that at least there were rules of that warfare.
And that was what made me so incredibly pleased with what I saw and contemptuous of what I experienced, because I don't think there are any bounds to our determination to use violence. Maybe the atom bomb is its own deterrent. But boy, it doesn't seem to me there are many others.
A wounded enemy is carried home on the shoulders of his friends. Nilik, not yet convinced the enemy was content to end the fighting, keeps a watchful eye, as do two young warriors who, a moment before, sought in vain to kill each other. At the end of the ridge, the others hurl abusive jokes instead of spears. The enemy, for now, is forced to listen.
I had no compunctions about doing what I was doing, which was admittedly hoping that they would not give up their ritual wars. I wasn't asking them to do anything, much less asking them to do something like go to war with each other. I knew this to be part of their natures, or part of their cultures at least, and that I wanted them to not stop being themselves.